wanted to present in my paper how there has been a shift in the area of womanhood and femininity in this lockdown. What we perceive as reproductive labor earlier was some kind of taboo. We called it domestic work or household work, and it was centralized to females and femininity only. Malehood regarded it as an insult if they were seen doing household work or domestic chores. But in this lockdown, since people have got free time and they are technically working from their homes, they have a lot of time to learn and explore new things, and this has opened the horizons of males as well, seeing and getting to know and exploring how things work in the house, how to make food, and how to how to do gardening, and everything that were earlier the domain and or the patriarchy has put it under the domain of females. So this is one thing that is changing, but more and extensive research is required here, and that how and to what extent males are adopting this culture and acknowledging the fact that domestic work is not just a domain of female, and it is not just it is not gender biased work. It is gender neutral. Everyone can do and must do domestic chores. This is what primarily my research paper is based on. There is this paper seeks to interview people of lower classes as well as rich classes, upper classes, to know to what extent the women of the society are acknowledging that they can also work outside and they are rebelling. As far as I have seen, and as my research has let me has make me known, there is an abundance of females who were not working earlier outside. They were only limited to their household domains. But now, since this whole pandemic has created a crisis in the economy, and they are forced to work outside to sustain their family, primarily these women come from the lower class, and the crisis in their economy has put a burden on themselves, their shoulder as well, and the patriarch of the house is also now acknowledging that their labor can also gain, and since economy is a bigger issue than respect, in most of the cases, when if the household is very is if the household is very poor, and they are not able to maintain their daily sustenance, then they are letting their women go outside and work, uh, do the work of sweepers and in the colonies, and just doing the work of maid. Though the work of maid is itself a very contentious issue, that if the patriarch is allowing their woman to go, it is in one sense just strengthening the patriarchy in the society. But the point is, and the point of my research is that women are acknowledging the fact that they must go outside. They must let their the domain that has been assigned to them by the patriarchy in society. They must rebel against that, and this is something which is a new thing that has come out of this crisis, and I hope and I believe that this will become a new normal in the upcoming years. After this pandemic as well, this will sustain. My research paper has not been well researched about, and due to the lack of time that I had because of my examinations and semester examinations, I was not able to do much literature review. This is a work in progress. The centrality of this paper seeks to know and explore to what extent females have been able to acknowledge this newfound freedom that has been assigned to them, that has been given to them. Though this giving is itself a strengthening of patriarchy, but then again, it is a freedom that they have found, and they can liberate themselves from themselves, and they can rebel against that. So that will become a new thing, and I hope to see more females coming out and doing outdoor works. And that would be all from my side. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Nafis Haider. This is a request to the organizer, like Hassan. Should we have like question answer session right now, or maybe the end of the all papers? Then we'll have a collective Q&A sessions.
Yes, right now.
Right
So,
now we want to have.
mm,
Okay,
yes,
fair
first,
enough. Okay, fair enough. So now the floor is open, and I'm sure there are a lot of people there in the group and they're listening. You are feel free to raise your questions. You would like to. We can also, you can write your questions in the chat box. Our team members are there to read it out, and if you want to directly speak, that is also all welcome. So please go ahead if you have any kind of questions. By the way, I would just have one few observations or questions to Nafis Haider. You are, I don't know your which disciplines you belongs to, maybe sociology or political science. Are you thinking of to, you are right now in an MPhil or you are doing PhD? I mean, if you could elaborate a little bit of your academic
No,
interest.
I'm actually an undergraduate student
Ah,
at Aligarh
super,
Muslim University.
super, great. Good luck, and I'm sure that you will do great do job. Maybe once your
Thank you.
masters on. Thank you. You're
Thank you
in
so
which
much.
department, Nafis?
Political science, sir. Political
Okay,
science it
okay,
is.
great, 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 great. We're all friends there. Anyway,
Okay. Yeah.
if anyone would like to raise few questions or observations and anything, and where were you? Did you do any field work kind of thing in Aligarh or nearby? Oh, okay. Well, if we don't have observations or questions right now, maybe you can think of. Uh, Maybe we like to invite uh, Zunaid Ahmed Ehsan and Magna Mohapatra. Both of them are scholars at. Okay, Shaykh, just hold. I mean, you would like to go ahead, or maybe you can ask after this. After.
uh, I think there's a question from Sheikh Abid
Okay,
Hassan.
Abid, go
So,
ahead, please.
Sheikh
Go
Abid
ahead,
Hassan,
please.
yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. My question to you is within the ambit of a house, how do you think uh, this pandemic has shaped normativeness about gender identity?
Thank you so much for the question. As I see it, there is a breakage of domestic work that is assigned to people and genders in the household, and this has become very visible in this present pandemic and the crisis that has subsequently followed it. In the article of Rita Kothari, as she speaks about, that was published in The Wire, titled "Has Quarantine Broken the Severely Coded Gender Roles of Domestic Labor?" She has argued that because there is ample of time for male as well as females, the work that was earlier assigned to males to go out and purchase things, and the work that was assigned to females to make things and uh, just make food and cook, so that is something that is breaking up. Male are exploring the art of cooking, and they are also doing works that can get themselves engaged in household, and in this way they are also getting to know that domestic works too require expertise and a skill. And females are also going out in search of work, that because of the subsequent fall in the economy that which is a result of the crisis. So if this present crisis continues and the economy goes down, the patriarchs of the family won't have any other option but to let their female go outside in search of work. And after this pandemic, it will be interesting to note how to what extent the males of the house can continue what they were doing in the period of crisis and pandemic. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, thanks,
if we are
Nafis.
yes, Mr. Abdul Matin, I
Yeah.
have a question.
Okay,
So,
go ahead.
I have two questions, two three questions. So, first of all, Nafis Haider, you look the patriarchy. Patriarchy adjusts in every situation. So, this pandemic, this situation is obviously new situation. I think patriarchy has also adjusted in this situation. So, how does patriarchy colonize this pandemic space and exploit the women's and which section it's exploit much? So, do you have any observation regarding this? And you are talking about these women's going out for in search of work. Is it for lower class, or it's we can see the same attitudes for middle class and upper class also? How does this pandemic changed or exploit upper caste or middle class women, or even male also?
Thank you. Uh, my observation, in my observation, class has become very fundamental to all these phenomena. In the thing that I was speaking about when women were going outside, that is the phenomena that we see in lower class, majorly in lower class. Majorly in lower class. And this going back of women is very much strong in the upper and upper classes of this Indian society. The rich and the upper class do not allow their females, if they are of the traditional mindset, to go out because they have an alibi to say that they are able to provide and all, which is the common explanation and justification for patriarchy as they give it. And the middle class is in the tendency uh, to uplift themselves and identify themselves with the upper classes. That is why they are also, if they observe and follow the pattern of modern rich classes, then if their family is educated and with education comes liberation, they will allow their females to go outside. But if they do not, if they are not educated and literate, so the most possible viable thing that we'll observe is that they won't allow, they will sustain that patriarchy. In this pandemic, there is a lot of violence that has been committed on females, primarily because males were always present. There is growing cases of rape and domestic violence and abuses, marital rapes as well. But this is something that, as you were speaking, I completely agree with. Patriarchy shapes itself according to new conditions, and this is what patriarchy is doing, in the sense that it is abusing women in their own space in their household. But it will be an interesting phenomena to note that how this liberation, this little liberation that females are finding, because male are there in the house, they have free time and they are exploring things of the house. This is giving them the space to work and go outside, as well as my research will be focused on. Thank you.
There's another questions from Arif, I guess. Arif Ahmed. Arif, okay.
Hel- hel-
Yeah,
Hello, am I audible?
yes, yes. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I would say it's not a question actually, it's a observation from my side, and you can just add to or counter that with your own opinion. Like what I felt, first of all, I joined actually towards the end only. So from the last few sentences or few para only, my observation, like I'm giving my observation. When you are talking about like when you were saying ki, because of that economic crisis that has actually emerged due to this pandemic, because of this pandemic the women got a chance to go out for work, and the patriarch of family, they also actually in a way compelled to allow them to go out. So I what I believe is that it's not that simple, because here I believe that the question of agency comes, right? It's not because just of the pandemic they were compelled to allow the women of a family to go out and work. So here again, I think the question of agency comes. It's not kind of like something I think you have also pointed out that the patriarch was actually uh, giving, it's not a kind of gain from woman's perspective. It's actually kind of again that patriarchal sense is coming, that she was being allowed somehow because of the crisis. So it's not that simple. And one another aspect is obviously one another side, entirely different side also actually has emerged. Uh, and I think one paper was already presented, or maybe it's in the queue, like the domestic violence. And there are many papers also actually coming up that because of this pandemic, actually the household space actually it again become a space for violence, right? Because of this pandemic, one side, as you told, that women somehow
Unmute yourself, please.
Arif Ahmed, please unmute yourself.
hello, sorry,
Yes,
hello.
carry on.
Yeah, so that's why, like, it's not, I think it's not that simple when we say that because of this pandemic, women were, got a chance to go out. Maybe we can't say it right now because the question of agency is here now, right? It was not their agency. Maybe there were women who were compelled to go out and work. That cases are also there. It's not simply like, it's their choice and they went out for work. So I think it's there are more nuances to this entire concept. I think those nuances also has to be looked upon and worked on. Like it should also be formulated, and academic discourse should also emerge on those nuances also. And I hope, as you told, that this is a work in progress. So in future, obviously, you will be, while carrying forward your work, you will be looking into these aspects also. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Thank you, Arif, for your
Yeah,
good observations. And Nafis, you would like to respond to these observations and questions?
no, I was just thanking. I was just extending my thanks and appreciation for that comment. I'll surely take that into consideration.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Nafis, for your both for your presentations as well as handling these observations and questions. Now the next speakers, next both speakers are